to say I was about 10 years old when I first saw a bottle tree, right? And knew that this was something that was a big deal to people in the community. When did you start liking bottle trees?
Well, similarly, my grandparents had a bottle tree growing up. I actually have that bottle tree in my yard now, so I have been familiar. I know some people, maybe when you move to the South, you might be like, what in the world are they doing over here? But, you know, it's fun, it's funky, and of course, with the Fondren Bottle Tree and Garden Tour, we kind of like to keep it that way. So we're going to embrace that, and you can come kind of tour around. You'll see a lot of these around the neighborhood.
Now, I want to go back to the history, and don't get me wrong, if you don't know the answers, you don't have to answer that. But how did this start? Was it we just want to recycle? We don't want to throw away the bottles. We want to do something cute. How did this start?
Yeah, Kayla, you're putting me on the spot about something I do not know, but I will say that I think that it is a fun way to decorate and recycle. I think it's all of those things, and people probably do it for different reasons. But it's a way to express yourself. I mean, look at these colored bottles. If you think back in the day, there were a lot of different colors, and people probably wanted to show them off afterwards because sometimes they're collectible. They're really fun to look at.
That's true. You know how some people have like the liquor cabinet. I know I'm going there this morning, but they just keep all the collectible bottles. So this is the same type of idea, just on the tree.
Absolutely. You know, and back in the day, it was medicine, it was your face cream, it was everything was in a glass bottle.
Nice. Okay, so now for the folks who are probably being intrigued right now, like we are, why would I want to go on this tour, and how many trees am I going to see? What am I going to see and feel and do and be?
Sure. So there will be bottle trees, but more importantly, it's gardens. It's 24 gardens. It is all around the neighborhood. The great thing about Fondren is it's walkable, and a lot of these homes are kind of clustered together, so you'll be able to park and walk and see several of these at a time. The other really cool thing this year is a home tour that's from 6 to 8. This fabulous home that's right on Meadowbrook. It's really, really cool. He has collected a lot over his travels over the years, so there'll be a lot to explore, a lot of rooms. So we're really excited to kind of welcome people in. The gardens range from all types of looks. You'll have some that were designed by landscape architects and are very structured. But then you have the DIY gardener. You'll have the whole span. And then, of course, this bottle tree is actually from Don and Becky Potts, who they actually have a mini horse. So when you go to their house, you may actually see Buttercup in the front yard.
Okay. It's just a lot going on.
Yeah, you know, we like to mix it up.
Okay, so now this is 24 gardens, like you said. The tickets are $10. Where do I have to go to get my ticket?
So a couple places. First, you can go to FondrenGardenTour.com. You can purchase your tickets, and you can then pick up your lanyard the morning of. You're going to wear that lanyard. That'll be basically how people know you've paid for the tour. Now, if you don't want to pay online, you also can go to KRW Designs through Friday and purchase your ticket there, or on the morning of from 9 to 1, there will be a table in front of Just Vanilla Bakes on Dueling Avenue. That's right by Marigot, kind of tucked in between that and Dueling Hall, and you can purchase your tickets there. There is no start and stop. You can design your own route however you'd like. So we just encourage you to come out and see as many as you can. Come early so you can try to cram it all in.
Okay, and now this is the thing. You said food, home decor, a whole lot more. For folks at home that are still saying, why would I want to go see some trees full of bottles, which I think is pretty cool. But for folks who may, you know, still need a little push to get to the event, what would you tell them?
Yeah, I would say if anybody's interested in things like WJTV, or you like scrolling on Pinterest and you really like getting inspiration, for me, that's what the garden tours are all about. I see small things everywhere I go. I'm also a certified master gardener through Mississippi State University Extension Service. And for me, every time I talk to a gardener, every time I go in someone's yard, I'm inspired to do something. And I think that's a lot of it, is just being able to see the beauty that we have here and asking questions. You know, I'll actually have some of my fellow master gardeners at my house. If you even have questions, or, you know, if you actually are really bad with houseplants, come ask us about it. Show us a picture, and we can try to figure out what's going on and try to help you out.
You know, I was about to go there. Once you said master gardener, the question I have just before I let you go, 2 things people with houseplants do wrong.
Well, there's always usually the overwater or underwater. There's a balance to how much water you have, how much air you have, and how much soil you have in a pot. And I would say that a lot of folks, especially if you start seeing these yellow leaves and things are starting to look kind of gummy, it's probably because you overwatered. Likewise, if you're starting to see brown, especially at the ends of the tips, it's probably because it's too dry. One tip I always have is every now and then, you might want to just go get a couple pieces of ice from your freezer, pop those in the pot and let that melt down. That can also help you try to remember to water your plants, but in a kind of slow way. So yeah, I'd say that the watering is the thing you typically have the most struggle about, but also light. Folks are always trying to figure out the light situation as well.